Donald Trump seems to be wanting to build a spy machine that will collect data on everybody in America and possibly use it for blackmail. And he is using this company called Palantir, was co-founded by South African billionaire Peter Thiel, who, by the way, if you're not familiar with him, he's best buds with Elon Musk. He's another billionaire tech bro type. And these guys have a really dystopian idea of what the world should look like. They believe in the American Technate, where, just a handful of corporations run everything. It sounds like every dystopian movie that I've ever seen, from The Running Man to, the fucking Matrix. They just want corporations to run everything, and we should just get rid of democracy because it's kind of getting in the way. And Peter Thiel, who co-founded Palantir, which is an intelligence gathering spy game where they are collecting data from everywhere. It's all about the surveillance state. And Donald Trump seems to be wanting to weaponize that against American people. So MSNBC wrote this article that I found pretty good here. There's Peter Thiel. Maybe you ought to listen to Peter Thiel first, just so you know who I'm talking about. This sweaty mess right here, that's Peter Thiel. And he's on with Piers Morgan, who I have absolutely no love for Piers Morgan. And he's talking about the, what was the question that he was asking? It was right after, I don't know if you've seen this video before, but it was right after Luigi Mangione allegedly shot that healthcare CEO, and Piers Morgan was asking Peter Thiel about, what he thought about this. So I want you to listen to this stuttering mess here, and I want you to ask yourself, is this the guy that you want manning the surveillance state in America?
What do you make of this? I don't think that I don't think one should ever and man, it probably just, it tells us more about how crazy, man, we're in a really crazy society where people, and it's all sort of fake, right? It's like to do this herself or whatever, right? And so it's just this weird, and so it's just on it that the thing that I find.
This guy is not saying anything. He's just sitting there stuttering. He does not know what to say about anything. This sweaty mess, this vampire-looking mofo, I swear to God, do not go in his basement. I do not know what you would find. But this guy right here, this psychopath, he and Donald Trump have hooked up on Palantir's new surveillance state thing here. Let's take a look-see. Trump appears to be building an unprecedented spy machine that could track Americans. The new report shines light on contracts with tech company Palantir, which could create data profiles of Americans to surveil and harass them. As Donald Trump and his administration pursue crippling austerity measures across the country, they are plunging millions of dollars. We've got so much money, but we've got to make sure that you don't get any of it. Plunging millions of dollars into the president's pet project. That includes reportedly giving hundreds of millions of dollars to a company that's expanding the government's ability to spy on its own citizens. The New York Times has a new report on the administration's awarding contracts to the controversial tech company Palantir, which is apparently helping Donald Trump develop a database of American private information scraped from various government agencies that could theoretically be used to track or persecute them. Now, before I go on, we basically gave up our Fourth Amendment right to privacy years and years ago. I believe it was under Donald Trump's first term. It was, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, getting rid of net neutrality was the beginning step of it. And it was like 94% of Americans said, no, don't get rid of net neutrality. 6% of Americans said, yeah, Donald Trump, just go ahead and do that. And of course, Donald Trump, he's going to do what Donald Trump is going to do. And 94% of Americans, be fucking damned, he went ahead and did it. So we've given up our privacy protections long ago. But we have still had some protection because, certain places have certain information on us and certain government agencies have certain little bits of information on us, but they don't have a compilation of all of the things in one place where somebody like Palantir can just have the entire list of everything, whether you have any debt, whether you have any health issues, whether you have your social media posts, whether you've been subversive or not, whether or not you have a car, what kind of car you have, what kind of house you have, what kind of neighborhood you live in, every little bit, whether or not, you're up or down on your taxes, you name it, everything will be compiled into this one thing. And you want that sweaty animal and Donald Trump to have access to every last bit of your information? Well, if you've got nothing to hide, you've got nothing to worry about. How does that work in a dystopian future where a handful of people have all of the information they could ever want about you, and you do something that they don't like, and they go and dig into every little nook and cranny of your life until they find something that they could go, see, he's a terrorist, he's a criminal. They will bastardize the hell out of it, and then the next thing you know, your ass will be on the chopping block. And if I'm not mistaken, a lot of Republicans are pretty fucking wary about this Palantir thing here too. So let me finish up what the Times said. The push has put a key Palantir product called Foundry into at least 4 federal agencies, including Department of Homeland Security and Health and Human Services. Those two things should not be mixed together, but okay. Widely adopting Foundry, which organizes and analyzes data, paves the way for Mr. Trump to easily merge information from different agencies. The government official said, creating detailed portraits of Americans based on government data is not just a pipe dream. The Trump administration has already sought access to hundreds of data points on citizens and others through government databases, including their bank account numbers, the amount of their student debt, their medical claims, and disability status. Mr. Trump could potentially use such information to advance his political agenda by policing immigrants and punishing critics. Democrat lawmakers and critics have said, it's not going to stop with those people. Do you think that those guys, Donald Trump and that sweaty mess, Peter Thiel, do you think that, we've got all this power? You think they're just going to stop with immigrants? Honey, you give somebody that kind of power, they are going to use it on everybody. It's not just going to stop with a handful of illegal immigrants. You're next. And if you got something to say about it, you'll be moved to the front of the line. The White House did not respond to the Times' request for comment, and Palantir declined to comment, on its work with the Trump administration. It pointed to a company blog post that said organizations that license its products, quote, define what can and cannot be done with their data. They control the Palantir accounts. New York Times reports aligns with concerns about surveillance and the weaponization of federal data highlighted by Rachel Maddow. I'm not going to play the clip, but Palantir is one of several private companies that have capitalized on Trump's authoritarian ambitions. The company has been trapped as a key player in Trump's mass deportation plans. So Palantir is being used as surveillance tool to help ICE and DHS get rid of anybody that they don't want. And we've already seen them shipping them out of the country, which is absolutely illegal. Even if you're a goddamn criminal, you are tried in this country and you're in prison in this country. If you are a criminal and you broke the law, that's how it works. You don't just pack them up and ship them off to a gulag in El Salvador or some third world country in Africa. That's not what we do here. You get due process. You don't just pick people up, accuse them of something, and then ship them out without any due process. That means you get to get in front of a judge and prove your goddamn case. But not with this, and they're using this surveillance to do it. Mother Jones reported on it as well, and this is what they had to say. I'm very happy, this is a quote from the CEO, I'm very happy to have you along for the journey. The CEO said, we are crushing it. We are dedicating our company to the service of the West and the United States of America. And we are super proud of the role we play, especially in places we can't talk about. Palantir is here to disrupt, he continued, and when it's necessary, to scare our enemies, on occasion, kill them. Kill them. Do you want that kind of attitude, that kind of power to be used on Americans? Are they going to be the enemy? The enemy within? Oh, that doesn't sound familiar at all. That doesn't sound anything like a Nazi, does it? Not at all. By the way, all of those South African guys like Peter Thiel, Elon Musk, all those boys came out of apartheid South Africa, and many of those people are exceptionally awful white supremacists. Peter Thiel is no exception to it. Listen to the language. And when it is necessary to scare our enemies and occasionally kill them, this is the guy that you want collecting data on you in a mass surveillance coup, scraping data from everywhere, compiling it into a little list, and then handing it off to somebody like Donald Trump. I want to play a little thought experiment for you. What if it was AOC and she had all of this power and you're a Republican and you say stuff that AOC doesn't like? Well, golly gee, man. I mean, I know that you say you're an American citizen, but, if we scare you or, collect you and move you out of the country, how are you going to prove it? I mean, you're somewhere else now. You're in another country. We've got no power. I mean, Donald Trump, he's already said that about Abrego Garcia. It's like, oh, well, I'm a big, strong man, but I'm not strong enough to call up Bukele, the president of El Salvador, and say, hey, send our guy back to us. No, Donald Trump is not tough enough for that. But just to put yourself in that position, President AOC has now collected a whole bunch of data on you, and that finds that the things that you say on the internet, they're bad. They're no bueno. And, maybe you shouldn't be in this country because you're subversive, and you might be doing something that is against my policy. You're doing things that are against America. So we're just going to have to relocate you or scare you or maybe even kill you. I don't know. Depends on what you do. Put yourself in that fucking position. Do you want anybody to have this kind of power? This is absolutely batshit crazy and scary as hell. You should be really nervous about this. Needless to say, putting American data in the hands of a company whose CEO boasts about the company's capacity to kill and intimidate does not inspire confidence. that data will be handled responsibly. You think? On that note, I've been laser focused on the government's surveillance capability in the age of artificial intelligence, particularly under Donald Trump administration, to learn more about, okay, yada, yada, yada. But Palantir, and that sweaty mess. This guy right here, this guy that looks like he's got young children in a basement where he is harvesting their blood to live. I'm surprised this guy's out in the daytime. He looks like a fucking vampire. You ever heard of like powder before you get on screen? Or maybe he's just absolutely so goddamn sweaty because he does not know what to say. I don't believe in lizard conspiracy theory. I don't think that there are lizards walking among us. But if there ever was one, that guy right there, that dude right there is a fucking lizard. Anyway, we really are in a pickle, are we not? Oh, goddamn. I don't know what to do with any of this stuff. I just wanted you to share in my paranoia. How does it feel? Did I sufficiently scare you? I am so sorry that I did that. I really am. And not like a Joni Ernst, I'm sorry that you feel that way. I really don't want us to be this nervous about the worst kakistocracy out there, the worst of us ruling us with an iron fist. I don't want that for America. I want us to all live to be free and happy and to be able to live our lives in comfort. You know, I want us to be able to afford to eat and have shelter and healthcare. I want us to be able to have a fruitful life and to be able to have children or not have children if we don't want to. I want what all Americans want, to freely live out their lives in peace. These people do not care about you. They see you as ones and zeros. They either see you as a useful tool or you are an enemy to be moved out of the way. Donald Trump has his agenda. These tech bros have their agenda. And generally speaking, for the most part, it's all about the money. What can I get from you? I mean, Donald Trump went to the Middle East. It was all about Trump businesses. You know, there was no foreign policy involved in that. You know, you think that this Palantir thing is here to make life better for us? No, it is here to get rid of their enemies and scare them and possibly kill them. My God, man. Wow. These tech bro guys, man. I tell you what, if we get a President AOC in 2028 and they don't immediately go after every one of these caked up, whacked out of their minds on fucking ketamine, psycho-addled, sucking off the government tit welfare queen tech bros, if we do not go after them with the full force of the law, we are guaranteeing it's going to get worse the next time. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed what you saw, please like and subscribe. Keep rocking.